Now, keep in mind that Jimmy Dore doesn't believe that anyone within the Democratic Party is ever going to do anything good for the progressive movement. He doesn't believe that a single...
What the f was that? It's like farting and soying at the same time. Hey.
both on his own show and when he worked here in the studio.
Is this you laughing and enjoying yourself? Watching you laughing and enjoying yourself? You see this? Look how much fun I was having here. I'll give him credit, okay? It's kind of weird for a dude to make the abortion debate into a story about himself, but I mean, Jimmy found a way. He found a way. It's, you know, life finds a way. The Jurassic Park adage, yeah, it applies here as well. Okay, let's see what Jimmy's saying about Anna. We'll call this one Jimmy's obsession. I should preface with, if everyone doesn't know this, Jimmy Dore was accused by Ana Kasparian of sexually harassing her back when she and he both worked at TYT, and it was something that he actually tried to get ahead of the story and release, her text DMs to him or Twitter DMs to him and state that, yeah, he was making jokes. They're just harmless little jokes, you know. I was just making jokes back in the day. And then, of course, supporters of Jimmy Dore started releasing compilation tapes of Ana Kasparian saying things that were either misandrist or misogynist. And they were like, look, Ana Kasparian is a hypocrite. She also said things that were very sexist back in the day. Yeah, see that? So it's totally justified that Jimmy Dore was making jokes. And there's a very big difference between if Jimmy Dore was going on the show and making very sexist comments and then making sexual comments towards someone that you work with on a regular basis. And it was, let's just say, thoroughly gross. Absolutely and completely gross.
We showed.
What's the over/under on Kurt Metzger going to be in this one? I'd say it's like I'd say 99.9% certainty that Kurt Metzger is going to be in this sequence.
You this on Wednesday. Someone put this together. This is very funny. So you know that we've been saying since Force the Vote to stop donating to Democrats, stop voting for them, and that the squads were not the squad were frauds, and they are frauds.
That's a cool slogan. Did you come up with it all on your own? Do you put the two words together and then it rhymes? You know, Dr. Seuss style. Fraud squad.
They won't use the leverage or the power they have to help people. They won't use their leverage or their power to help people. They won't use their leverage or their power to do what I want to do, what Jimmy wants. Jimmy wants them to obey Jimmy at all times. Do it. So,
So a solution is to let Republicans win in multitude of ways, in a variety of ways. It's basically don't vote for Democrats because they're Democrats. So across the board, all Democrats are the same. They're all identical. Every single Democrat is virtually indistinguishable from the other Democrats. Yes, in policy, in actions, in what they say out loud, all that kind of stuff. Secondly, if you've got people like, say, Nina Turner, who are running to become a part of the political body, and they're running under the banner of a Democrat, soon as they put that Democratic banner on, don't ever vote for them, just because they've aligned themselves with the Democrats. So then they're evil too. Everyone is basically evil if you don't come on my show and talk about me all the time.
I was then smeared for that, right? And Ana Kasparian is one of the people who called me a grifter and a right-winger, and all I do is attack progressives and blah, 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 blah. But what I was doing was stating a truth. I was stating a truth that the politicians that we helped get elect are abandoning us, and that they're never going to fight for you, and they're only going to fight for their own career advancement, which is what they were doing. And so for saying that, people like Ana Kasparian smeared me for over a year.
Smear.
About that. So, well, turns out it's only taken her 18 months to come to the same conclusion.
Are you still running this one clip where she got mad at the Democrats as well? By the way, like I said last time that he did this, I'm not an everyday watcher of TYT. They're not like my go-to for daily news consumption. That being said, what I have seen has been pretty consistent in that they do attack Democrats on a regular basis as well. This is not like a new phenomenon. This is not her stating that I agree with Jimmy Dore. You know, Jimmy Dore is not even mentioned in this. It's just one of those, one of many instances where Jimmy likes to make everything about himself, because it is always about Jimmy. Ultimately, that's it. You don't come on my show, well, then you're a traitor. You're a traitor to the cause. You don't agree with forced to vote? Well, then you're a traitor. You're a traitor. You're a corporate Democrat. You're a stooge. You're a liberal. You know? I
know she'll never apologize, but someone put this together. Oh, I wish we had the tweet of the guy who put this together. Can you go and tell me who it was? It's on my timeline.
Okay.
But I'll just show it to you. And it just kind of shows the complete hypocrisy of Ana Kasparian and the Young Turks. And, I've debated about whether to show this or not, but I think it's very valuable. Like for the people who watch the show, because they hear me get attacked by people all the time. People like this, right? So this is good, so they could have this to show people. That's why I think this is good. That's why I'm doing this.
It's Joe at STFU shitlib. Joe at STFU shitlib is the tweet.
So here it is.
You always know, by the way, that you've got Jimmy Dore fans going after you because the two words they know how to use the most is libtard and shitlib, and they just use them in frequency over and over, all caps. Just fill up your responses, your comments, all that. It'll just be the same thing over and 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 over, right there.
This full-on attack by individuals on YouTube, on Patreon, presenting themselves as part of the left while simultaneously viciously attacking both the squad, but more importantly, people like Nina Turner, all of the bootlickers for the Democratic Party.
So that was her saying that I was viciously attacking the squad. Vicious. You mean with my words? Vicious? My words in my garage.
Oh, this
that kind of vicious attack? So here we go. I know I shouldn't stop it, but I did. Here, I'll start again.
This full-on attack by individuals on YouTube, on Patreon, presenting themselves as part of the left while simultaneously viciously attacking both the squad, but more importantly, people like Nina Turner. All of the bootlickers for the Democratic Party get so upset at me for telling the truth about how ineffective and pathetic Democratic lawmakers are. Go ahead and cry about it. That includes the squad. I don't care anymore. So while they—
By the way, she never said Jimmy Dore. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to play like stupid here and be like, well, it could be about anyone. I'm sure Jimmy Dore is included, but included amongst other people. Jimmy Dore is not the only player in town, He's not the only one who has made an entire career out of basically being right-wing adjacent, doing this whole like red-brown alliance stuff, saying that he's the only one who speaks truth to power and calls out the corporate Democrats and tells it like it is.
They obsess about us, and while they obsess about
just look at his fucking soy face
attacking progressive lawmakers who are our best bet.
Yeah, he's not the only shitlib in town. Let's just say that. All right, there are many shitlibs
in getting something done in Congress. And what do Democrats do? Do they do anything to prepare for it, to strategize, to ensure that they mitigate the damage that's done by right-wingers in this country? No, they're too busy fundraising. That includes the squad. I don't care anymore. And the fact that he's been a wrecking ball to progressives, and especially people like Nina Turner, who's been a fighter for Medicare for All, tells you everything you need to know about him. Period. Him and his clan. No, the reason why I go after Democrats is because A, they deserve it.
Wow.
And B, they deceive us. They lie to us. And they tell us that they're gonna
Jesus.
fight for us, and they do the exact opposite. They fold immediately. Yeah. Now keep in mind that Jimmy Dore doesn't believe that anyone within the Democratic Party is ever gonna do anything good for the progressive movement. He doesn't believe that a single
What the fuck was that? It's like farting and soying at the same time. Hey.
them is actually going to fight for Medicare for All, and they tell us that they're going to fight for us, and they do the exact opposite. They fold immediately. That includes the squad. I don't care anymore.
It just looped. He's getting even more excited. Higher levels of soy as the clip looped around.
But of course, Bernie Sanders didn't go on Jimmy Dore's show, so he's super salty about that, and has been on the warpath against Bernie. Oh God,
there it is, there it is. Well, I mean, at least now he'll have some post-nut clarity. You know, he might not come at this as quite as foolish and aggressive as normal.
and other progressive lawmakers ever since. People who are willing to pick up the slack for these disgusting, feckless, corrupt politicians. That includes the squad. I don't care anymore. We share this with you guys because it's important to know who the hucksters are and who the genuine fighters for change in this country are. And I think that these types of situations make it abundantly clear. Whereas the Democrats, hey Nancy, how's your refrigerator doing? How's your luxury ice cream doing? I bet you do, Nancy. I bet you do. Yeah. Without the strong Republicans, how would you fundraise? You pathetic, pathetic corporate goon. I'm sure he's watching this and I'm sure he's screaming at the TV, screaming at the computer, probably screaming at his wife as well because he's been real good at doing that, both on his own show and when he worked here in the studio.
Have at it, internet. You know what he's looking for. Also, why are you getting so much pleasure out of her saying things over the course of her career that like prove you wrong here? It's like, yeah, she never actually went after the Democrats, and now she completely agrees with me. It's like, and let's watch a montage of her shitting on corporate Democrats.
Both on his own show and when he worked here in the studio.
Is this you laughing and enjoying yourself? Watching you laughing and enjoying yourself? You see this? Look how much fun I was having here.
Fuckface.
What is happening? This is the soy meta. I've never seen someone soy out to themselves so much.
I don't even know if I need to comment on that.
No, light a cigarette. Come on, buddy.
They're such clowns. They're so easy. That's a great job by at STF Shitlib. That was
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. That was
Big
that was
laughs.
great. So she's gonna let you know who the real hucksters are. Well, I guess she's a huckster now because she sounds exactly like I did, but except she only about. Well, here's what people are saying. Ana Kasparian.
Here's what people are saying. Fucking Jackson Hinkle. Fucking Russian propagandist. I mean, he's banned on most platforms now, but we still get our old Jackson Hinkle every now and then. Here's what people are saying, everybody.
She sounds like a Nazi-sympathizing right-wing grifter. Anna, please add this to your list of things you owe Jimmy Dore an apology for.
Thanks, Jackson.
I wonder if Ana Kasparian...
This is fucking infrared. Oh, wow. The alliance has been formed, everybody. According to ML13, a avowed infrared follower.
Will apologize to Jimmy Dore and all the other people she viciously smeared. Viciously! For telling her what she just...
Oh, yeah. Haz will be on the show pretty soon. It's only a matter of time.
Found out the hard way. That's right.
He'll have to temper some of his R slurs, I'm guessing, but well, maybe he won't. I don't know. I don't know how things fly around the Jimmy Dore scene.
These people don't give an F about you, especially the squad. Oh, I like this. Caitlin Johnstone says, "What's the difference between Jimmy Dore's opinions and TYT's opinions? About 18 months." What's this one? People actually take Jimmy Dore seriously, and he's supposed to be the comedian.
Here's what people are saying. According to Mr. Quimper, Songs of Sickness.
I know. Let's watch it again.
Let's watch it again? Are you serious? Okay, I gotta fast forward this. I can only watch him come so many times.
This full-on attack by individuals on YouTube, on Patreon.
So when I say the exact same thing that she just said, I am an attacker, I am vicious, I'm a wrecking ball, I'm a huckster, right? But when it takes her 18 months to finally say the same thing, because now an issue affects her, I guess abortion, now, she says the exact same thing, but she says it in a much more shrill voice.
Much more shrill voice. Oh, yeah, of course, Jimmy. Of course. Should she smile more? I bet it would be better if she smiled more. She should probably smile more. Yeah. And put on some more makeup, too. Come on, honey. You're not doing any favors.
And so it's okay. It's passionate when she does it. It's vicious when I do it. Her is passion. Mine is vicious. Here we go.
presenting themselves as part of the left while simultaneously viciously attacking both the squad.
Vicious.
More importantly, people like Nina Turner.
And by the way, she takes my word. I know I didn't invent the word, but I was the one using that word constantly to describe Bernie Sanders and the squad. Feckless. I kept saying feckless, and then she's used, and then she's so.
According to Based Groiper 88, Jimmy Dore is always right.
Talk about when she goes 180, she goes all the way. She even starts using.
You see what the people are saying?
Nice. I'm influential.
All of the bootlickers for the Democratic Party get so upset at me for telling the truth about.
Isn't that what I should have said to you, Anna? That you're a bootlicker, right? And you get so.
Speaking of the whole like shrill voice kind of stuff, it goes back to when Jimmy Dore was originally sexually harassing Ana Kasparian, being like, "Hey, it looks like you're dressing for a rave or something. When you bend over, I can see your thong and your butt crack and things like that." Like that's just who Jimmy is.
Said at me, cry more. Okay.
How ineffective and pathetic Democratic lawmakers are. Go ahead and cry about it. That includes the squad. I don't care anymore. So while
I think
they obsess about us and while they obsess about attacking progressive lawmakers who are our best bet in getting something done in Congress, and what do Democrats do? Do they do anything?
See, it's like I think the tighter her hair bun gets, the more angry
Shrill.
she is. And shrill. It is. Watch, because when her bun is a little loose, she's a little more laid back. But when it gets tight, you're like,
Prepare for it. Just
Yeah, come on, baby. Let your hair down. Put on some lipstick, eh? You ain't doing anyone favors, baby.
strategize to ensure that they mitigate the damage that's done by right-wingers in this country. No, they're too busy fundraising. That includes the squad. I don't care anymore. And the fact that he's been a wrecking ball to progressives, and especially people like Nina Turner, who's been a fighter for Medicare for All, tells you everything you need to know about it.
See,
Period.
tells you
And
everything.
his clan.
Period.
No, the reason why I go after
clan.
Democrats is because A, they deserve it, and B, they deceive us. They lie to us, and they tell us that they're going to fight for us. And they do the
This like 12-minute video that he's now uploaded to YouTube is just him rewatching this video over and over and over.
exact opposite. They fold immediately. Now keep in mind that Jimmy Dore doesn't believe that anyone within the Democratic Party is ever going to do anything good for the progressive movement. He doesn't believe that a single one of them is actually going to fight for Medicare for All. And they tell us that they're going to fight for us. And they do the exact opposite. They fold immediately.
What a great edit that was. What a great edit that was. Way to go, Joe. But does that include the squad?
That includes the squad.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
care anymore. Of course, Bernie Sanders didn't go on Jimmy Dore's show, so he's super salty about
Super
that. He's been on
salty.
the warpath against Bernie
Warpath.
and other progressive lawmakers ever since. People were willing to.
So telling the truth about Bernie Sanders and his bullshit is me going on the warpath. Look at the words they use. That's them protecting politicians. And so that's why nobody watches the Young Turks anymore. And more people are going to see this on this show than saw it on their show. Is because they've been protecting Democratic politicians. And now Anna finally snapped. And she won't do it anymore. Cenk will. I bet she'll be back at it Monday. She'll be back protecting the squad and finding a way to do that. Just like they all are doing, finding a way to do that. So
Have we ever done Drunk Jimmy?
that's what's hilarious about this. Okay.
Perfect.
The slack for these.
Oh wait, we gotta get back to his commentary. Oh no, he's just gonna keep watching clips. Is he just watching more clips? Is this whole thing?
Democrats.
He's still watching clips.
Wife as well, because he's been real good at doing that, both on his own show and when he worked here in the studio.
You know, this is worth it. It's worth having. We're doing the simultaneous drunk Anna with drunk Jimmy, just to hear Jimmy's drunk laughs. Now it's watchable. Now it's a lot better. Oh, it's not causing psychic damage anymore.
We're doing live stand-up shows. And
Did I see the recommends to just TYT and Dore should get back together? Yeah, I interviewed him about that. And he's just like, he's always been a fan of TYT and he doesn't like the infighting. That's kind of been his angle. He wants them all to get along. And unfortunately, sometimes, you know, these things aren't as simple as just that.
The next day.
so I just want to get to this first. Here's the tease. So Ana Kasparian, as you know, called me all the names in the book, right? I'm a right-winger, I'm a grifter, I'm alt-right, I'm this because I'm vicious. I'm all these things because I told people that the squad has abandoned you and Bernie Sanders is a bullshitter. He's a nutless
Is this a
wonder who will
rerun? No, you would think that because this is the third video in like a week and a half that Jimmy has done on Anna, which is absolutely ridiculous for someone who has been accused of sexual harassment by Anna, for him to be making all these obsessive videos that are, come on, pretty borderline creepy at the end of the day. The first one was like, oh, look, Anna agrees with me. I told you, blah, blah, blah. The next one's like, oh, look at Anna freaking out about abortion rights being taken away. Ha, isn't this fucking hilarious? Let's laugh at it. And you know what? It's so funny. I'm going to watch it a second time. Yeah, I'm going to laugh at it a second time. Like, Jesus.
never fight for you. Those are true things. And for saying that truth, for recognizing it, I've been smeared for over a year and a half over it. And it was around force to vote, which is when we tried to get the squad to use their leverage and get a vote for Medicare for All, and they didn't. And then people like TYT, Nina Turner, Ryan Grimm, a lot of people, David Sirota, they all ran interference for the squad when they weren't doing what we told them to do. And so finally, the water.
He just said it out loud. Has he ever said it out loud? He just literally said when they didn't do what we told them to do. When they didn't do what a podcaster wants them to do. God damn. All right. Well, we have it as a matter of record now.
Moment, I guess, was abortion, because I guess it affects her like a true, she doesn't understand a situation or a situation.
This is all honestly such a bizarre call out. Like, again, I'm not like a TYT aficionado. I don't watch TYT daily every single day. But anyone who has ever watched TYT can tell you that they go after Democrats as well. They always have. This isn't new. None of this is new.
Till it affects her personally. And then she said this.
If we're going to sit around and wait for our elected lawmakers
He's still playing this clip, by the way. He loves this clip so much.
To protect us from these religious zealots and these right-wing authoritarians, man, we have another thing coming. How many times do we need to be disappointed by them? I'm done with them. And personally, I don't speak for everyone in this network. I want to be clear. I'm speaking for myself.
I was on last Friday and they spent the entire hour slamming Dems. Yeah, they slammed Democrats, you know, just because they don't do that thing where they're like, well, you know, the corporate Democrats are betraying you just the same way that like the Republicans are betraying you. The only person you should listen to is me, Jimmy, and that's why you should do exactly as I say when I say it. And everyone should come on my show, especially AOC. AOC, why don't you come on my show whenever I ask? You have to. You have to do what I say at any time, or you're a traitor. You're a traitor. It's the fraud squad, I tells you. The fraud squad.
Delivered. They have not delivered. I'm done. Okay. It's time to Oregon.
So it goes
Jake
on
in the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jake,
Kurt.
Jake is
Kurt. That's Kurt.
Okay. Anna, don't say that. Anna,
bring on Kurt for the creepy laugh in the background.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You're gonna prove Jimmy Dore right. Anna, don't say that. You're gonna prove Jimmy Dore right. Which
how is this like? How are you making abortion about you? Seriously, it's so fucked up. This is not about you, Jimmy. You fucking weirdo creep. Holy fuck! Still going off. I was proved right, as you see. I mean, at the end of the day, the abortions are all about me, really.
This is what she did. And so when she does that, people make videos like this.
Hack by individuals on YouTube, on Patreon, presenting themselves as part of the left while simultaneously viciously attacking both the squad, but more importantly, people like Nina Turner. All of the bootlickers for the Democratic Party get so upset at me for telling the truth.
The last video he made on it, he played these same two videos. This is the same thing over. Like, is the Matrix about the glitch? I'm seeing deja vu. This is the same videos with him doing this. Look at that. Yeah, talking about me.
Truth about how ineffective and pathetic Democratic lawmakers are. Go ahead and cry about it.
So there she is doing her Jimmy Dore impression. She's channeling me.
And you fucking weirdo. Like, honestly, it's gone beyond like even the sense of normalcy anymore. It's just straight up like, well, now she's impersonating me, and now this is about me and me alone.
And then Cenk is realizing she's doing that, and we're going to make a video like this, which we did.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone put this video together, which shows her contradicting herself like a schizophrenic, and this is fun.
That includes the squad. I don't care anymore. So while they obsess about us and while they obsess about attacking progressive lawmakers who are our...
No idea when this happened. So Tim Pool has blocked Keffels. You know what's funny? The conservatives claim that ratios are meaningless, and like ultimately in the scheme of things, in terms of like action and praxis, they are. It's just online funny stuff. It's fun. But for the people who claim all the time that like the ratios mean nothing, they spend so much time trying to like prevent them. You'll see them doing whole campaigns where it's like, oh, Keffels is about to ratio the GOP. We have to stop her. We have to stop her immediately. Let's do something about it. Now, apparently Tim Pool just had to 1984 Keffels because he couldn't take a couple of ratios. So yeah, there's that.
Best bet in getting something done in Congress. And what are Democrats Democrats do? Do they do anything to prepare for it, to strategize, to ensure that they mitigate the damage that's done by right-wingers in this country? No, they're too busy fundraising. That includes the squad. I don't care anymore. And the fact that he's been a wrecking ball to progressives, and especially people like Nina Turner, who's been a fighter for Medicare for All, tells you everything you need to know about him.
I'll give him credit, okay? It's kind of weird for a dude to make the abortion debate into a story about himself, but I mean, Jimmy found a way. He found a way. It's, you know, life finds a way. The Jurassic Park adage, yeah, it applies here as well.
Period. Him and his clan. No, the reason why I go after Democrats is because A, they deserve it, and B, they deceive us. They lie to us. And they tell us that they're gonna fight for us, and they do the exact opposite. They fold immediately. Now keep in mind that Jimmy Dore doesn't believe that anyone within the Democratic Party is ever gonna do anything good for the progressive movement. He doesn't believe that a single one of them is actually gonna fight for Medicare for All. And they tell us that they're gonna fight for us, and they do the exact opposite. They fold immediately. That includes the squad. I don't care anymore.
So we had fun with that.
We
had fun with that.
I know.
Obviously,
This is the third video you've made on it.
How could you not? When someone's accidentally a clown, it's much funnier than when someone's intentionally trying to be a clown. So that was very funny, right? So it reveals her vacuousness, her lack of consistency, integrity, all that stuff. But a lot of people were saying, well, Jimmy, you should welcome her to the... And I do welcome her, but I knew it wasn't real. I knew that they were going to get a call from Jeffrey Katzenberg, who owns TYT now. And I knew they were going to get a call from their $20 million donors. And they were going to say, hey, you can't tell people not to vote Democrat, asshole.
Yeah, right.
And so that is the next day. This is from the next day. After she said all that, I'm done. I'm done with the Democrats. And that includes the squad. They won't fight for you ever. So all the things she smeared me for saying
I gotta admit, I do a really, really silly, cartoonish impression of Jimmy Dore with intent, and that was the closest he ever sounded to my impression of him.
Screamed at the top of her lungs, right?
Why wasn't Jimmy at the CPI conference? I don't know. Maybe he smelt a little sketchiness. I can't say. There's usually some overlap in those two worlds.
I knew they would. They eventually all have to come and agree with me because it's the reality. The Democrats have complete control of government. The squad has leverage. They'll never use it.
Oh, yeah. By the way, we should bring that up. So he keeps mentioning how they have deep corporate backers, which, yes, there's no way not to report on the fact that they did get a huge donation from a, let's just say, a liberal Democratic supporter about 15 years ago. But Jimmy always fails to mention while he was working there. He was also accepting, I guess, that funneled down money because he was working at TYT at the time. That's usually the part that he leaves out.
And so here,
investment loan, yeah.
Here we are, year and a half later, they're finally admitting it. But now, again, I said she's not real. She's going to tell you to vote for those same Democrats come election time. And the next day, this is what happened. Here we go.
Everyone, Ask Shar Empath says, so Anna, are you ready to start the Progressive Party? Sure, it will take all of us and time, but there's no other way. The people have been effed too many times.
Now, the Progressive Party, she knows exactly what that means. That means, hey, you're going to join the People's Party? Vote that is organized around economic issues instead of identity politics? Are you going to do that? No, because that means she'd have to admit I was right. That's how they run their politics. I would welcome her to the People's Party. I welcome everybody, all of them. Anybody who wants to join, let's join. But she won't. And here we go.
Listen, I don't want anyone to mistake me as someone who falls in the camp of like Jimmy Dore, okay? Because he's a clown and he actually likes to dig us into a deeper hole that's harder to get out of.
I'm very powerful. I dig the entire left into a deeper hole. I have a lot of power in my YouTube studio.
The point that I want to make is we need to stop emphasizing electoral politics as the end-all be-all. So you should vote in a way that minimizes damage as much as possible.
What is...
She's 100% right. 100% correct here. Yes. And it also, like, like, I've been echoing this sentiment for a long time. It should not be the start and stop of your activism. It should not be like, well, everything depends on whether or not we can get this one politician elected into this one office, and if that happens, we unlock communism. Like, it just happens right afterwards, right? It has to be something in which, yeah, you might have to mitigate damage, and that it sucks, because you're like, oh, yes, I'm voting for the lesser of two evils. In this one case, there are other cases where you can vote at local elections, which will probably have candidates that are far more left that you can help support, canvass for, fundraise for, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it has to be a multitude of other things. You have to be doing unionization efforts. You have to be supporting unions. You have to be forming worker cooperatives. You have to be doing direct action and protesting on the streets. You have to be doing mutual aid, in which you make people less dependent on the systems that failed them. Building community fridges, community feeding programs, community food programs, whatever it is. All of these things have to be in the tool set that you're using as your activism. It doesn't start and stop at the ballot box.
That See, already backtrack. You have to vote to minimize damage. That's called lesser of two evils voting. That's called vote for the Democrat. She's already backtracked the next day.
I think she realized she was turning into a bit of a, right-wing Nazi.
Oh, no way! I can't watch this anymore. I now have to stop this segment, everyone. Apparently, it seems like Jackson Tinkle is the new Jimmy flavor of the week. So, yeah. Fortunately, Jackson Hinkle is a banned streamer on this platform, so I can't platform him. So I'm going to have to stop this Jackson Tinkle segment.
Tens of thousands of anti-war demonstrators surround the White House. This is in Kissinger's memoirs.
For the best.
As I also say, don't ever buy the book. And Kissinger is describing Nixon. He's freaking out. He's got empty city buses all around, ringed around the White House to protect him, and he's looking through the window and going, "They're going to break through the barricades
Switch
and
over
get
to
us."
YouTube.
And that's
I mean, I was
going
going to switch over to YouTube anyway for the infrared
That's
debate.
where we want them to be. We want them to be literally frightened. And people like Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur and Kyle Kalinske will tell you that's wrong. They'll tell you have to be nicer to politicians. That's what they said when we were pressuring them and trying to make them frightened for their jobs, not their physical safety. We were trying to make them frightened for their jobs and their reputations. That's what we were putting out a pressure campaign. And
just any opportunity to, I guess, slag Kyle Kalinske. I don't know why he's in here at all. He's not related to this. Jimmy does that thing, though. He loves, like, baiting people into creating drama cycles with him. Because if he does that, then, of course, he knows he gets the clicks on the other end, and then they get the clicks. It's kind of like YouTube rap battles that used to happen between creators, except this way it's just, political figures yelling at each other.
Young Turks undermined it. Their audience saw it and left them.
Does he, like, understand they're the ones that formed the Justice Democrats at the end of the day? I mean, you can have a lot of criticisms about Kyle Kalinske and Cenk, which I do, and at the same time recognize that they're not just talk. If you're spending a lot of your capital and time forming what is supposed to be a new progressive alternative to the existing corporate democratic apparatus, then that is a very different thing.
Which is why they now get, 4,000 live stream viewers, and we get somewhere around 15 to 18,000. People saw what happened. They thought they can bloviate their way out of it. And
he gets 15,000 to 18,000 live viewers. I've clicked on his live streams before. There was only between like 5 and 8 when I was watching. I don't know if at a certain point it just goes like that, but sure.
Couldn't. And now they're paying a price for their inconsistent hackery. And they're turning their back on their own activist base. When we had a chance to apply pressure to the squad and actually get something done, they didn't do it. In fact, they turned on us, their activist base, to protect politicians. That's why there was no enthusiasm for Nina Turner, because she did the exact thing they did. She protected politicians while she gaslit activists and wagged her finger at us for pressuring politicians, which is exactly what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to make them frightened of us. Do you want to hear it again? I'll play it again.
Why do you keep doing that? Keep looping the same videos.
Our empath says, so Anna, are you ready to start the Progressive Party? Sure.
He's looping it again. This is the same video from the start. How do you fill up a 20-minute thing? You've got 2 co-hosts just waiting in the sidelines, just sitting there waiting for their opportunity to speak. And you're like, you both have to wait, okay? I need to play these videos a third time. Everyone needs to understand what you said and how I'm right and how she's actually channeling me.
Curve. An actual true lefty. Unlike me, who were a bunch of union busting corporate $20 million people. That's not lefty shit. Fucking union.
Does anyone have a link to the People's Party and their numerous scandals, like the one where they were embezzling money and how the whole thing is clown shoes? Do you have a link to that? I would like to read that.
Busting, fucking wanting to criminalize homelessness. That's who they are. Okay.
The point that I want to make is we need to stop emphasizing electoral politics as the end-all be-all. So you should vote in a way that minimizes damage as much as possible.
Democrat.
Don't needlessly vote for a party that's actually, or vote in a way that empowers a party that's actually going to take us back further.
Like, at the end of the day, look at someone like Shama Sawant, an independent, all right? There are independents that if you have the opportunity to vote for and they happen to be socialist and they're going to, speak truth to power and do what you want in terms of a representational figure in politics, then yes, help them, work with them, canvass with them, do everything you can in your power to get them elected. If there is a situation where it's like, well, there's going to be a Republican who comes into power and they're going to legislate making it okay to look at trans kids' genitals and kick them off of sports teams and make their lives hell. They're going to legislate women's bodies and trans men's bodies and make sure that they have to give forced birth and stuff. Like that's this one option. Or we have the other option where it's just a milquetoast neoliberal who's going to continue business as usual in terms of the geopolitics of the US, the military-industrial complex, incredible military spending, all that garbage. But at the same time, they're not actively going to basically erode bodily autonomy and human rights for marginalized communities. Then yeah, it sucks. It's the worst thing in the world. You have to basically at that moment be like, well, it sucks. I hate you, but I'm going to put the X here. Because it is a form of, yes, harm reduction. But the point being is that even if you had an opportunity to mark Bernie Sanders and then you were voting for President Bernie Sanders, that would have been much, much better. But that wouldn't have been the end of lefty activism. Like if Bernie Sanders had been elected the president of the United States, then it probably would have been a glorious moment. It would have been better than things are now. But a lot of the fundamental problems of the U.S., especially, the strong ties to the military-industrial complex, that would not have disappeared. It would not have been eroded. So many things, like civil rights issues, would not have just disappeared. The Republicans would still be trying to do the same thing that they're doing right now, which is to push legislation through courts and continue to stack courts aggressively. Like the fact that like you think that this vote or a vote at any given time is going to be like, well, based on that, you're a sellout. You're a corporate sellout. You decided to vote for Joe Biden over Donald Trump. How could you? You supported the corporate Democrats. Don't you see how terrible he is? It's like you need to grow the fuck up. I don't know how old Jimmy Dore is, but at a certain point, grow the fuck up. Like like people's bodily autonomy is on the line. It's not you should go and canvass and vote blue no matter who and go donate a whole bunch of money to the corporate Democrats. No, call out the corporate Democrats, especially when they're in power and they don't do shit like under Obama. That's what you do, right? Even Bernie Sanders told us voting will not be the end all be all. Yeah, Sanders was onto something there. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we are prepared to embark on a mighty jihad in your name. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble jester, attempting in vain to get you to laugh. To our valiant knights of the Round Table, Benji Arnie, Tech Tink, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood. It doesn't matter what I believe, it only matters what I can prove. Egbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tao, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevbot, EXE, Brian Ephraim, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. we raise our mugs and salute our brave heroes off to another glorious conquest.